Well, hello and welcome to this short video post for my teaching blog, www.teachthemenglish.com, where I talk about all kinds of stuff about teaching English. So, today I offer you the perfect analogy for why all course books are wrong. Of course, that's a very general statement, but hopefully by the end of this video you'll understand what I mean by that. Okay, so let's begin. This is a logo which you may or may not be familiar with. It's the Haynes logo, and this is for the Haynes manuals. Now, if you're not familiar with what Haynes manuals are, they're a series of books which serve as kind of a do-it-yourself repair guide for a particular brand of automobile. Okay, and the history of these books, they go back about 60 years now, to the 1950s. There's a long and fairly boring history to it, to be honest. If you're interested, then I suggest you type Haynes Manual into Wikipedia and look at the Wikipedia page. It gives you much more information than you ever really need to know. So, what has any of this got to do with language teaching? Well, let me show you. Okay, this is the Haynes manual for my car. I have a 1973 Volkswagen Beetle, a 1300, and the car's the same age as me actually. We were both born in 1973, and we're both in our 40th year, and let me tell you, the car's in a lot better shape than I am. Anyway, so this particular manual is specific to my model of Beetle. It's not useful for every Beetle ever made by any means, and it's specific to that sort of time period detailed on the cover, 1965 to 1975. So it's pretty specific to one particular model of one particular car from one particular make of car from all the cars in the world. So quite specific stuff here. And this Haynes manual, it's designed to be sort of a manual not just for sort of amateur DIY kind of mechanics, but also proper mechanics as well. So it's pretty comprehensive and tells you everything you should theoretically need to know about this one car. Okay, let's move on now and have a look at the next picture. Okay, this is a collection of Haynes manuals, and you can't see very clearly, but what you can probably see is that they're all types of Volkswagen. And look at that, that's nowhere near all the Volkswagen cars that have ever been made. It's a very sort of narrow sort of snapshot of the Volkswagen's history. And there's one for a VW Beetle in there somewhere. Not quite the same model as mine, so I don't know if it would be that much use to me, but I might be able to muddle my way through. But what you can see is a wide range of cars, all kind of shapes and sizes, colours as well, for those who are interested. And I don't know, if I just picked one of these up at random, it probably wouldn't be that much help to me in doing any kind of repairs to my car. The only thing they have in common is they're all Volkswagens. And, well, that's nice, but it's not very helpful, is it? Okay, now let's look at the final picture. Haynes manuals have become a worldwide phenomenon, and look, as you can see here, not only do they deal with real cars, they've also brought out some novelty editions. What can we see here? We've got an R2-D2 repair manual, one for the Star Trek Enterprise, another one for the Millennium Falcon, one for Doctor Who's nemesis, the Daleks, Thomas the Tank Engine. So, not only are these not all one type of car, they're not even one type of vehicle. Anything mechanical possible could have its own manual. And herein lies the lesson of the English language teaching course book. Something like Headway, and I'm just picking that at random because it's probably the most famous, something like Headway offers itself as a teaching manual, if you'd like, that covers every single type of car, every type of vehicle that we see here. It does the language equivalent of that. And as you can imagine, that's pretty darn impossible. how could we have one manual that would cover the Apollo 11 lander, a Vauxhall Astra, a Mini, the Starship Enterprise, Thomas the Tank Engine, and the Millennium Falcon? You couldn't. You couldn't possibly do it. And yet that's what too many general all-purpose course books try and do. And that's why we feel such dissatisfaction with them. Okay, let's reflect back now on the Volkswagen collection. If you're lucky in your teaching career, you might have been working with a course book that did something like this. It kind of identified one particular brand of car and said, okay, every type of car they've made in that brand, yeah, they're all Volkswagens, it'll be all right, you'll be able to muddle through. And if you're lucky, you probably worked with a English course book equivalent of this, which is a one-size-fits-all within a particular strand of language teaching. What you definitely won't have, probably, I'm saying definitely, I'm going to say it. What you definitely won't have worked with in terms of a course book will be, going back to our first picture. And this book is probably representative of any one single class that you've ever taught. What you'd need in a course book would be the equivalent of one book for one type of car, for one specific moment in history, and course book publishers don't make books like that. So, there we have it, my analogy for why course books are very, very bad in general. If you find yourself in complete disagreement with everything I've said, then please leave a comment on the blog. I'd be delighted to argue with you over this issue. Okay, thank you very much for listening today.